Okay, here we go. Happy New Year, everybody. I am still over the weather. And by the way, patrons, sorry, but everybody's getting the same episode because I don't have it in me to record more. Yeah, dealing with a little bronchitis. So Happy New Year to me. Happy New Year to all of you as well. I hope you're all doing better than me. Hope you're all having a great time doing whatever it is that you do. If you're back at work, good luck. We'll all be okay. So the plan for today was to have a fan takeover of the show, have fans call in and talk about whatever they wanted and just have me splice the clips together in some way and put them on the show and basically have you be the show without having to actually work on the show. And I thought it'd be really fun, but I guess maybe two reasons it didn't work. Number one, I did it during a holiday week. I asked the question for it during the holiday week and people get busy and, you know, it slips their mind, whatever. But maybe the main reason, and I can relate to this, is that just no one wanted to do it. And so that's okay. That's fine. Usually when I ask for people to call in and talk about stuff, they don't because, you know, you get busy or you just realize, oh, yeah, I'll do that. And then you just don't. And that's okay. So we call an audible. We may hear from the captain. So we'll put that in and then we'll get to the rest of the show. But there we go. Best of 2024 is coming your way. There are a couple of retail stories. We talked about nachos being made in a hotel bathroom, gambling on the bus. There are a couple of clips from interviews we did this year. Only two of them, but we included some clips there. And then a clip from the live show, and then that will be that. I thought about including one of the political rants, but they went long, and the show was already long enough. So just a reminder, we'll uncensor this part so everybody understands. If you're supporting Republicans at this point, and you're still on board because you think eggs will be cheaper, gas will be cheaper, or you just don't care about other people, that really seems to be the move, or you're too fucking stupid to understand how the world works, and that's why you're still reporting these fucking ghoulish assholes, then go fuck yourself. And I'm laughing and coughing at the same time. Jesus. Hold on. All right, we'll leave some of that, but we'll cut out some of the other coughs. But yeah, if you're still supporting this shit, you're not very smart, first of all, and you're just generally a bad person. And again, I don't care how much you volunteer or go to church or you know, whatever, share some inspirational memes or whatever the fuck you do. If you're still supporting this bullshit on the way in and, grow up and don't worry about what's going to happen, fuck you. Fuck you. There you go. That's how we'll start 2025, with a hearty fuck off if you're still supporting. If you didn't get it in November when I said I want nothing to do with you, if you're still supporting Republicans, and if you voted for this bullshit because you think eggs will be cheaper and you just don't like that people different from you have rights to do things, and you just straight up don't know that the president does not control things that are bad in your life, and you think that of all people, if the president had a magic wand to make your life better, you who can't afford fucking eggs or whatever, if you think the president has a magic wand and you think that fucking Trump is going to be the one to use it, then you're just too fucking dumb. And as Jill and I like to say, you should not be allowed outside or on the internet without an assistant, without a caretaker, because you're too fucking stupid to make decisions by yourself. So there you go. We didn't put a full segment in the show, but I wanted to include that anyway, just in case some of you are still hanging around wondering, man, how does he really feel about this? That's how I feel. You're a bad person, and you're a fucking idiot, and go fuck yourself. How about that? Way to go. Way to go, Pat. Way to start on a high note. But no, yeah, like I said, gambling on the bus, a clip from the live show, will end it. And then, yeah, oh, by the way, the breaks in the clips are me clapping. So you're going to hear the same clap, 7 or 8 times. So you'll be okay. You know what? I'll come back and wrap up the show after all that. So in like an hour or more, you'll hear from me again. But yeah, just wanted to let you know that I'm not well. And the Snow Day movie review is on hold again. But that's okay. I might have to watch the movie again to refresh myself, though I took a shit ton of notes. Oh, damn it. We'll censor that one. I took a lot of notes. And so I think we're good. So it will be coming when I'm feeling better and can stop coughing so often. And yeah, you'll learn how I feel about the movie now when we get to it. I will not spoil it. All right, so that is coming. We may hear from the captain, so that will kick us off, and then we'll get right to the show. So if you made it to do an update, thank you, my friend. If not, that's okay. Happy New Year to you either way. All right, so we'll kick that off. Here's the captain, maybe, to tell us about the Flag Guys, or it'll just be that. And you know what? I'll do that. We'll do that live and not have to copy one in. So just in case we don't hear from the captain, you'll just hear this, and then we'll get to the show, okay? So, good sir, the floor is yours. Take it away. And there you have it. Thank you, my friend, or thanks to me for clapping. And that's all for me. That's all for this me right now. And one of these episodes, I think I was over the weather as well. One of these segments, I should say. So, yeah, first two are retail stories. And then I did hotel nachos, gambling on the bus. A clip from the live show, again, is going to be the end of it. And then we also had some other stuff in there as well. So please enjoy the best of the show. As far as I heard it, 2 hours ago in 2024. I've had a lot of fun doing this year. I always do. So please enjoy this recap of things that I said and forgot that I said. So have fun. Sorry, I know it's a little bit of a cop-out, a cough-out, if you will. But hopefully next week I will be back on track doing a thing. And you know what? Really blame yourselves for this one, because I did ask you to reach out and to be the show this week, and none of you did. And really, so if you don't like this idea, this concept, it's kind of your fault. It's kind of your fault because you didn't do it. No, I'm half kidding. I love you. And this was actually really fun to put together. So here we go. I guess I'll clap one more time, and then we'll do the best of what I enjoyed from myself this year on the show in 2024. Thank you very much. I'll talk to you in an hour. Let's shout out my friend Amy G, who was on this show a number of years ago. She talked about two things. One, people being weird to her pregnant belly, asking her questions. And two, to tell a story of a return where a customer tried to return a plant and instead returned a stick in a pot and got their money back, because sometimes that's how it works. So she sent me a reel the other day from TikTok or Instagram or wherever the hell it came from. It was from a cashier. And she's like, yeah, a customer tried to return some Christmas decorations. And this was after Christmas. So she tried to return some Christmas decor, little bows and things, and said, hey, I didn't use it. I bought too much, so I'd like to return this. And the cashier, the woman in the reel, was like, it had cat hair on it, like full of cat hair. And she's like, we could have done this. We could have made a deal here if you hadn't lied about it. And I don't know that she said that to the customer, but she said this in the reel. Like, I don't know, like you could have been cool about it, but you lied. Don't do that. And people do get weird. Thank you for that, Amy, for spurning this whole story, this whole segment, I should say. People get really weird about returns, especially around the holidays. I told a story years ago about a woman who tried to return a lamp that had broken, that she had bought on sale after. It was a Halloween lamp. She bought it on sale after the fact and came in and tried to return it. And I'm like, oh, it's a final sale. Sorry. And then she's like, oh, wait, we tried to fix it. And da-da-da. I'm like, all right, well, too bad. You got it for $10. And so, yeah, first she said it didn't work. Then she said they tried to fix it. Then she said it worked for 10 minutes or whatever. I don't know. And then, the stick in the pot. Like, people get weird, right, about returns. And then it reminded me of two things. Number one, we always had to tell people that ornaments were not returnable after Christmas Eve. And people go, well, what if I get this one as a gift? And I was like, well, you got to, I don't know, man. You got to take the gamble and maybe re-gift it. But you can't bring it back to us. And I'm going to tell you why. And I told every customer this when they asked, why can't we do this? I'll tell you why. If I'm repeating myself, I'm sorry. But what would happen years ago is people would buy all these ornaments and put them on their tree. They buy them, October, November, December, whenever. They buy their ornaments, put them up on the tree, take a bunch of pictures. Oh, look at the tree. Isn't it decorated all nicely? Look at the tree. All these great ornaments. Isn't it great? And then they would come back after Christmas and return them and get their money back. So they would use them for pictures and then get their money back. And so the company decided, not the store where I worked, like the company that does all the ornament stuff. They decided, hey, we're not doing this anymore. So once you buy an ornament, you got to return it by December 24th. Otherwise, it's yours. And so, yeah, people, they caught on. I guess the company caught on that people were doing this, just buying the ornaments, taking the pictures, coming back the day after Christmas, getting their money back. People are weird, man. It's just really weird that people would do that. So yeah, people got mad about that because they're like, oh, what if I did it? I'm like, I don't care. The sign says you can't do it. Corporate told me you can't do it. And that's why, because people would take pictures of the ornaments on their trees, take them down after Christmas, and then return the ornaments. And so some scumbags ruined it for everybody. That's usually how it goes. Some jerks, maybe they're not scumbags, but they're not good people. I don't think. They ruined it for everybody, and that's just how it goes. And the second thing this reminded me of was, I don't remember when exactly this was, but a woman came in trying to return a Vera Bradley bag. If you're not aware what Vera Bradley is, it's floral patterns on cloth bags, and they're very expensive. And because they're cloth bags, if you really use them, they don't last forever, right? Like if you use it sparingly, like it's a backpack and you only take it certain places or whatever, it can last a long time. But if you use it all the time, like most people do when they buy these bags, it doesn't last forever because it's a cloth bag. And this woman came in to return, I don't remember the name, like the style of the bag. I've forgotten most of this information because I no longer need to know it. And it's been a decade. So she came in with the diaper bag or the whatever bag she was using as her diaper bag. She came in and said, hey, there's a little tear on my bag. I'd like to return it. I got it whenever she got it. And she said, I didn't use it very much. I didn't use it very often. And we're like, okay, like, that happens. Like the bag can be faulty. There can be an issue with like the fabric or the stitching or whatever. And so we look at it and she had it for a while, I guess. And so we're like, okay, let's take a look. So she said, I don't use it very often. And then she proceeded to empty the bag onto the counter. And she'd been using it. I don't know if the style was the diaper bag, but she'd been using it as a diaper bag because she pulled out the formula, the outfits, the diapers. One of them was used. The snacks, there are crumbs everywhere because, if you have a kid, you know how that goes. Crumbs and snacks and old tissues and whatever, like all this stuff. Here's my first thing was you lied because you said you didn't use it that often. And it certainly looks like you're using it because you have a child in diapers. You're going to use that bag with all that stuff a lot. So that's the first thing. Second of all, why are you carrying around a used diaper in your bag like that? Like there are trash cans all over the mall, outside, inside, plenty of places to put that. And I'm not, I know they're not literally everywhere, but there are plenty of places like you would have passed one either coming in from outside from the Anchor store or like coming in from outside, coming from the Anchor store or coming from the mall from the other side. You would have passed a trash can in any of those spots and you didn't think to throw away the diaper. I don't know, man. I would, if there's a trash can in the room where I'm changing the diaper, guess where that diaper's going? Right in the trash can. Boom, done. I'm not carrying it around like a psycho. I don't know. What am I saving it for DNA, cloning purposes? I don't know. But this woman, it's like the woman said in that reel, and I'll try to find it and post it. Amy, if you listen, can you send it to me again? Because I don't know if I'll be able to find it because I don't know how to look for things. I don't know. Anyway, she lied. Like we could have made it. We could have made something happen, a store credit, an exchange, or what. But you lied. Like you said, oh, I don't use this very often, but you clearly do. You're using it right now. Like you can't say I don't use, like, oh, I don't really use this. And so what happened? Okay, let's walk through this. Say you try to return a bag or whatever, right? Say you're returning a bag and you say, oh, I don't use it very often. The way to do that, to return that and have a success story out of this is to bring the bag empty. Like at least empty it before you come into the store to keep up your lie, right? Like sure, we would have noticed the crumbs. Probably, so oh, you use this, and we would have taken it and done whatever with it. But it's just like, the lie was so bold and stupid. Like, you didn't think to go, oh man, maybe, we're trying to return this bag that I think I don't use. Or maybe she didn't even get that far. She just said that when she got up there to me and said, I don't use it very often. Like, well, we can tell you're lying because it's full right now. Like, at least if you say, I don't use it that much, bring it empty. And also, like, it looks used, right? Like, we had another lady try to return one because it started to wear. And we're like, oh, how long have you started to wear? Like, the material started to wear. Like, oh, how long have you had it? And she said 2 years. It's my main purse. And we're like, okay, that happens. It's a cloth bag. It's not going to last forever. And, like, how do you use it? You carry it every day to work and to other places. She goes, yeah, I carry it around. I throw it in the back of the car. I take it wherever, take it here, take it there. Okay. You use it every day. Like you said, this is your main bag. You use it. It's going to wear and tear. You don't get to get your money back because of standard wear and tear on a product. That's not how it works. And I So that lady didn't really lie about the second lady, didn't lie. She was just being dumb and trying to get her money back. But this first lady said, oh, I don't use my bag that often, but then emptied the contents onto the counter. And you're using it as a diaper bag. Which, again, if you don't have children, or if it's been a long time since you've had a toddler, when you use a diaper bag, you use a diaper bag. Maybe not a toddler, infant, whatever, baby, whatever. A little guy, a little girl, little whoever, right? You use the hell out of that bag. That's going to get beat up and filled with stuff and crumbs and snot and juice and whatever. Milk, formula, all the things, right? The wipes here and there. And like the fact that she came in and said with a straight face, oh, I don't use it that much. I've had it for however long. I don't use it that often. And you were using it at the moment when you said you don't use it. You were using it right then and tried to get your money back. It didn't work. She didn't get her money back because they were like, no, like you use this, clearly use this, and it's going to be like it's going to wear and maybe tear, but it's going to wear down. It's how it works. It doesn't last forever. It's not supposed to. It's supposed to last, what, a year or two? 3, maybe, if you use it every day. And then you get a new one. That's what happens. Things wear. I got a backpack. I had to buy like 3 of them. They were $5. So I'm not mad. But I use it every day. And then it started to wear. So I bought a new one. And I was like, oh, okay, great. New backpack. Awesome. I don't understand why. Like she lied. Like the fact she had to lie and thought she was going to get away with it is what bothers me. Like she really thought she was going to come in and say, I don't use it that often. Empty all the stuff from the bag onto the counter and then hand us the bag and we were going to give her money back. Like give her money back on her card or give her cash or whatever. She thought that was going to work. And she's like, oh, I don't use it. But you're using it right there. So again, let's go back to the real. We could have made a deal. We could have made something happen, an exchange, a credit, or whatever. Maybe not a straight return because it had been a while. And I don't think she had a receipt. I can't remember. But we could have made it happen. But you lied. And so the lesson, I suppose, if you're going to try to return something and you're saying you don't use it, you should not be using the item at the moment. Like you should not have to empty a bag that you say you don't use. Because it should be empty because you just said you don't use it. So there we go. That's returns, man. It's like Jill told me stories when she worked at a hardware store for a while. And like people would, I got to return a porch light. And they would come in with an empty box. And she would go, hey, all right, well, where's the light? And they would go, oh, it's attached to the front of my house, but it doesn't work. Okay, well, you're trying to return a box. And that's not how this works. It's just like, I spent a lot of time in retail, a lot of my life. Well, I guess, grand scheme, I worked in retail, a total of 4 years, maybe. But a lot of that was just like the number of people who think they can get away with stuff while being so stupid. Like that's how we have dumb politicians in office because they just say stuff and people go, oh yeah, that's cool. Maybe that's a bad comparison. We should stop now. But anyway, if you're going to try to return an item and you say, hey, I don't use this that often, at least empty it before you come to the store to try to keep up the lie. Otherwise, you just look like a moron and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. All right. I got to go do a thing. Let's see. Oh, okay. Jill texted me. I guess I guess she was at the back of the house and I'm being loud. She said an air conditioner somebody returned at the end of the summer, just under the 90-day guarantee, the 90-day return policy. Yeah. Okay. So she worked at a hardware store. I won't say which one because I don't do that. But yeah, people would buy an air conditioner beginning of the summer and they have 90-day returns. So they'd use it for 88 days, 89 days and return it and get their money back. All right. That's not I don't know. That's too much work for me. Like an air conditioner is what, a couple $100? Like I'm not sweating for that anymore, right? Maybe I should have done that when I was in my early 20s, when I was working at the store, when I had no money. And she says, oh, she's sending me more. This is great. We're trying to end this segment, but now I'm getting messages. This is great. It's just like my live show, although I don't have a time constraint anymore. So let's see. Christmas tree refunded because they had a 1-year plant guarantee. Yeah, that's the same thing. Years ago, when Amy was on the show, they had where she worked had a 1-year guarantee, no questions asked. And so that's why this person could return a stick in a pot and you can return Christmas trees because, when you're done with them, same deal. I don't know. Maybe they should institute a no returns after Christmas Eve policy for that over there. And it's been years since Jill's worked for this store. So maybe they've changed some things. Maybe they haven't. I don't know. I haven't looked it up. And she says a guy tried to repeatedly return boxes of light fixtures or whatever, that's what it was, filled with trash and retaped. So he would come in and say, oh, I want to return this thing, and it would have nothing in the box. And it's just like, why? Why? How much does a light fixture cost? What, like $30? How much? Hold on, let's look this up. I need to know before we move on. I need to know this. All right, so I just looked up light fixtures, and most of them are between $14 and $52. Man, not worth it. Not worth. Oh, that guy was on some stuff. Okay, well, all right. Just look. We've talked about returns several times on the show, but I bring it up today because Amy reminded me with the reel she sent of the lady who tried to say, "Hey, I didn't use this Christmas decorations, decoys, Lois, decoys. I didn't use this. I didn't use it. I bought too much, and it was covered in cat hair. And just." If you're going to try to return a thing that you used, just be honest. I thought I was going to need it. I didn't. That's why it's out of the box. I thought I was going to use it. We put it up and I was like, oh, we didn't need this one. It's extra. Whatever. I took it out of the box already because I didn't measure. I didn't look. Whatever. Just be honest about it and maybe they can help you out. Because if you're going to lie, you're not going to get it. Or unless you yell and scream and stomp your feet like a toddler, then maybe the manager will give in to make you go away. But just don't make everyone's life harder because you're an idiot. I guess that's the question. That's the lesson. Don't be a moron and don't lie about dumb stuff that can easily be proven false just because you want to get a couple bucks. That's all. All right. Don't be greedy dumbasses. Does that work? All right. We'll be right back. We have another thing after. What is this? The mail is next, right? Here's the mail, it never fails, and I don't think we can sing this song without getting sued. Sorry. All right, we're going to... I gave up halfway through. I don't know why I thought that would be the problem. Like, that's the one Viacom's going to come at me for. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll talk about some live music things, because we got a question right after this. So I saw a post on Threads the other day. This episode is brought to you by Threads, by the way. Yeah, I found my Threads or something. I'll think of something funny or witty or something like that. But I saw this and someone said that they worked in a department store and they see so often men complaining about having to go to the store with their wives and just being like children, like, oh, are you done yet? Or, oh, now we got to do this and da-da-da. It's a real thing that happens. And it made me think of my days when I was in the store. Now, I didn't work in a department store, thankfully. But I worked in a store that more women than men would shop in and buy things from. That's for sure. So this didn't happen very often, but it happened often enough where when I saw this post, I was reminded of like, oh yeah, this would happen. And men would generally be, let me just say this first. Men generally were fine with their wives buying the things. They would help. They would carry the bags. They would, sort things in the coupons and sort the things on the counter and carry all the stuff in the store. They were generally fine. But enough of them were not fine that made me think about this when I saw this post. And it was just, man, I just thought, like, look, I'm not saying I haven't been kind of bummed out about going to a certain store with my missus, right? It's like, oh man, I'd rather be doing literally anything else, right? I'm not saying I've never done it, but I've never vocalized it to a point where like the cashier noticed. Right, because there's no reason to do that. Like we would have people come in, and their wives would buy a bunch of knickknacks and whatnot, and tchotchkes and things like that. And again, most of the time, the dudes were fine. Husbands, boyfriends, whoever, they were fine. But every so often, somebody would be in there, and he would just like he would go stand in the doorway and just wait. Or like if he walked with her, he would go, and she would go, well, what do you think of this? Like asking his opinion for this thing that's going to be in their house where they live, right? So like, oh, what do you think of this thing for the mantle, for the counter, for the wherever? And the guy's go, I got to buy another thing. And just be so grumpy and like, can we get out of here yet? I got to, and just be so like, I'm just like, all right, look, man, it's not the ideal way for a lot of guys to spend their time, but you're out spending time with your wife. Why is that bad for you? Like, do guys really, is that a real thing that a lot of guys just hate their wives, or is that an internet thing that's been perpetuated? It might be both. I don't know. It's just like, guys are like, oh, the old ball and chain, right? Like, dude, my wife's awesome. My wife's great. What are you guys talking about? You guys are insane. Anyway, I don't know. Don't be married if you don't love your wife, I guess. It's just, anyway, that's wow, that's a little deep. So, but these dudes would just be like, oh, well, we got to do this. And I'm just like, all right. And then every so often, the guy would stand in the doorway and just be grumpy. And so I remember one time I saw a woman come in and I say, hey, how's it going? And she's like, oh, great. I'm using my coupon. She was all excited. She was going to spend her coupons. And she was like, I was like, all right. She goes, I look over and there's a guy that looked to be about her age standing in the doorway with his arms folded, just like a grumpy look on his face. And I go, hey, man, how's it going? How you doing today? And he goes, just got to make another stop in here. You know how it goes, right? I'm like, well, I work here, so it's a little different. But I was like, what's up, man? He goes, yeah, just wait for her. She's buying more crap. I'm like, whoa there, Jimmy, whatever his name was. I'm like, I didn't need that. I'm like, oh, okay, man, I got to go. I'm going to go do a thing. I'll see you later. Let me know if you need anything. Oh, yeah, I need something in here. I'm like, all right, man, look. I get it. Not a lot of stuff in here for a typical guy, right? But this isn't a place where a lot of dudes are going to come in and be like, oh, I want this, right? I understood that. Again, I worked there. I saw all the stuff that came in. I get it. But come on, man. You're out with your wife. The least you can do is just walk around with her. And even if you don't like what she's buying or looking at, or even if you have no interest in the product or whatever, the decorating or whatever's going on, if you have no interest in any of that, at least be happy to spend time with your wife, right? Maybe I'm a weirdo, but yeah, sure. Do I want to go to the lotion store and do all that stuff and look at all the face scrub stuff that she likes? Not really, but I'm spending time out with my wife, and that's awesome because I love my wife, obviously, and just spending time with her is like, that's the stuff that you're going to be like, hey, remember when we went to the store and we saw that person do that thing and be like, yeah, it's great. And you have like a little inside core joke for you two that you wouldn't have had if you had been her curmudgeon and stood outside the door or, just going around and stomped around. Because what you're going to remember is, oh, we spent forever in that store. What she's going to remember is we went to the store and all he did was complain and it made me feel like he didn't want to be with me at all. And I know that's deep and that's something that not a lot of people will think about, but now I'm making you think about it. Because I saw this post and it was like, man, these husbands are just acting like children because their wives wanted to go shopping. And it just seems like when you really parse it out and think about it that way, like you're being mad. There's one thing if you're already having an argument and you're mad at each other, right? That's different. And you have to go to the store for whatever reason, right? That's different. And I'm sure that's not what happened in every single one of these cases. But if you're just sitting there and being all grumpy and upset and like, oh, I'd really wish I weren't here right now button. If you're just being all upset and being a toddler about it, just because she wanted to go shopping, I don't understand the mindset. And again, I'm not saying that I've been perfect when going out somewhere, especially at the end of the day and you're tired and you want to go home. I understand that. I've been there. We've all been there. But the idea that these husbands just pout and sulk and whatever other words I can't think of right now, just sit there with their arms folded, go, what am I paying for now? And then I remember one time, I'll never forget this. This woman bought a couple of tchotchkes and knickknacks, and she had like one big thing was it from us or from somewhere else? I don't remember, but she asked for a bigger bag to put it in. So it couldn't have been from us. So she had a thing that she had bought, like just bought somewhere else, and still had it with her because she didn't want to go back to the car and come back in. And she was like, oh, can I get a shopping bag? I'm like, sure. So I gave her the shopping bag to fit the bigger thing. She had a bunch of little things that she had already bought, that she bought from us. And her husband's standing there, and he didn't have anything in his hands, no purse, no wallet, nothing. So I slid the bag over to where he was. And he looked at me, he looked at her, and looked at me, looked at the bag, looked at me, and looked at her, and he said out loud, like to both of us, you bought it, you carry it. And she was just like, all right, sure. And I'm looking like, now I've created a thing here. I've like made a problem without thinking about it. Didn't even realize what I really had done. And I was just like, oh, okay. Like, sure, man. So I ring up the sale. I give the lady her card back and I'm like, okay. And by the time I swipe the card and give it back, he's gone. Like he left. Like I put the bag on the counter, like ready for him to grab it to go to the car or wherever. But he didn't. And he turned around and just left. He's like, oh, you bought your, you wanted to buy this, so you carry it. And he just left. And it was like a big thing. And I just looked at her and I was just I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. And she goes, it's fine. She just like cut me off. Like, this is not the first time this has happened. And I have learned to just deal with it. And it made me so sad that this woman who like, I'm sure all she wanted to do that day was go, hey, we're going to go buy a couple things. We're going to go to the mall. Maybe we'll have lunch. We'll go buy a couple things. And it seems like he didn't want to be there and was just like, like, oh, I'm just your chauffeur or whatever. And like, he couldn't even grab the bag. You couldn't pretend to be happy that you're spending time with your wife. And you had to complain loudly enough for me, the cashier, to notice. And then say to me, like, be mad at me because I slid the bag to you when you're standing there with nothing in your hands and didn't seem to have any issue, like you'd have any problem carrying the bag. And I just felt so sad for this woman because like he must do this everywhere. He must be like so grumpy and upset to spend time with his wife. Because at the end of the day, that's what they're doing. They're spending like, sure, it's not the ideal thing for him. Like he doesn't really want to do what she's doing, but it's all the same. You're spending time with your wife. Like, how are you not at least pleased about that fact? And she just looked at me. I'd never forget the way she looked at me and said, it's all right. I got it. Thank you. And she had a smile on her face, but I could see it. I could see right behind there. She was just like, Jesus Christ, he did it again. He was again. And I'm sure maybe they had a conversation in the car. Maybe she's done having that conversation at this point. But it was just so, like, I saw that post of, like, husbands are acting like toddlers and doing it. And I'm like, man, I'll never forget that woman. I will never forget the look on her face that was just so defeated because her husband couldn't pretend, number one, just couldn't pretend to be happy to be there with her. And two, couldn't shut up, like, at the register for a minute and a half. Listen, I'm giving advice today, I guess. So dudes, I'm going to put this out to you so you don't end up like these people who are probably in their 60s. If you're my age, if you're 35, younger, a little older, whatever the case might be, and your wife says, let's go to the mall, let's go shopping, wherever you go, let's go out shopping. Here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to be, like, unless that's a thing, like we joke about it all the time when we go, hey, let's go do this. And one of us will whoever makes the suggestion, the other one's first answer will always be, not in a serious way, but like, we got to do another thing. Like, we don't mean it. We're like, all right, now we got to figure, well, I guess with the kid, it's a little harder, but now we got to figure out how we're going to make this plan work. But then once we're there, we're like, hey, we're spending time together, or like one of us is pushing the kid around while the other one's shopping. But at the end of it, it's like, guys, listen. And if women do this, listen up too. At the very least, when you're in public around other people, just act like you want to be with the person. Just act like you're fine. Like you're spending time with your significant other. I need you to act like you're happy about that. That's all. Nothing to do with the shopping, wherever you're going, whatever's going. When you're in public, like I, as the cashier, should never have to see that your marriage clearly has a problem because you've done this act like a toddler before, and your wife just now deals with it and has to internalize that and figure out what to do about that when she gets home, if anything. Or figure out how to explain to her friends why her husband doesn't come out to things, or why her husband does this or that or the other. And like, I should never have to know the look that she gave, because you should all just, at the very least, pretend that you like your wives. Can we do that? I think we can. Are we going to take a break? No, but I am going to pause. I got to do something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, real quick. I saw this. It was shared somewhere else. I'm not really on TikTok, but I saw this shared the other day. And it was one of the grossest things I've ever seen. And I'm not unfamiliar with TikTok challenges and people being disgusting on video for laughs, but I got to tell you about this. All right, so this guy, he's in a hotel bathroom, and he's like, hey, I'm going to make nachos in this hotel bathroom. And he just like in the sink, on the counter, just all over the hotel bathroom. He was cooking the meat. He was, chopping the vegetables and the sour cream and the cheese sauce and the chips everywhere. Just like, picture a hotel bathroom, right? And you're familiar. And it's, he didn't clean that beforehand. Like, he just looked like a guy who didn't clean it up beforehand. And hotel bathrooms, like, yes, they get cleaned after everybody leaves, but how clean is it really? And also, it's a bathroom, and it's gross, and you shouldn't have food in there. You certainly shouldn't make food in there. And so this guy did the whole thing, did the whole bit, and then sat on the toilet to eat his nachos that he just made in the bathroom. And look, just because we all have video things on our phones, Pat, they're called cameras. Yes, just because we can share videos of ourselves doing things right from our phones doesn't mean that we all have things worth sharing, right? Like, we don't have, not everything has to be immediately shared with everyone. It doesn't. Some things are just not good ideas. And I just know this guy didn't clean up before or after. So I hope that hotel charged him at least 3 times as much. Because, well, first of all, okay, he didn't clean up beforehand, because why would you? You're just doing a fun thing for TikTok, so you're not thinking that far ahead. Maybe he did, I don't know, but it seems like he wouldn't do that. If he's just focused on this, seems like he wouldn't do that. So that's gross, right? So you don't know what else is going into your face hole there, other than the nachos that you're, for some reason, cooking in a hotel bathroom. The idea, okay, you have the idea, and you go, hey, I want to make nachos for TikTok. Okay, that's a cool thing. That happens. People make food all the time and share a video. Check out this recipe. Look at how quickly I can make nachos or whatever. And then he goes, hey, you know what? We're going to take this one step further. We're going to make these nachos in a hotel bathroom. Because why not? What else do you do in a hotel bathroom but make yourself some damn nachos, right? And I love nachos. Everybody knows this. I love nachos. No, not from there. We're not having nachos from a bathroom. Not in a bathroom, not from a bathroom. I only need to be near a bathroom after I'm done, right? And even then, it's only because, food has to go somewhere when you're done. So just imagine all the gross stuff that guy ingested in addition to the nachos that he made in the bathroom sink. Think about that for 10 seconds and no longer, all right? I'm not going to wait here for 10 seconds, but you can pause for 10 seconds and think about all the things that are in a bathroom, either on surfaces or not. And that guy ate all of those by making the nachos. And he didn't clean up afterwards. For sure, all the meat, the vegetables, the sour cream, the whatever, all that stuff was still all over when he left. For sure he didn't do that, right? Because if he's doing a TikTok thing, making nachos in a hotel bathroom, he's not cleaning anything up. He's like, hey, let's make nachos in the bathroom, and that's it. And then just leaves. Checks out. All right, thanks, guys. See you later. And then just leaves. Do you have any clue how gross a bathroom is? And do you also have any clue what a scumbag you are for leaving that mess, for making that mess, first of all, and leaving that mess for the staff? Because he did. And I hope they charged him triple, and I hope they banned him from staying in their properties again. Because no, dude, that's disgusting. Don't do that. I'm certain there are more examples of people being outright disgusting for TikTok views and Instagram reels, whatever's. And I'm here to tell you to not do that anymore. Don't do that. Don't be gross. Just because you think something is fun doesn't mean everyone else needs to see it. Everyone else should have to see it, right? It's like when your band is getting started, right? And you put out a song, and it's not great because it's your first song as a band, and somebody goes, well, maybe that should have stayed in the garage. Right? Maybe don't release that because it's not polished. It's not a good idea to put that song out as it is. The same principle applies here. Just because you have an idea for a video doesn't mean everybody else needs to see it. And also, it doesn't mean you actually have to do the thing. Please don't make nachos in hotel bathrooms or any bathrooms anywhere for that matter. And, yeah, stop being disgusting for TikTok points. That is, I don't know why people do this. I don't know why people think just because everyone can share things that they think they need to be shared, because not everything is a good idea to be shared. And I think that's a prime example. So if you have an example of some gross thing being shared online, I'd like to hear about it. And I think we need to shame these people together. I think that's really the plan here, is to make sure that everyone knows that there are disgusting, truly disgusting people in this world who should not have access to the internet. I think that's it. I know that can go deeper. I don't want to.
That's what she said. Woo!
Like if somebody, I don't know. I can't even think of an example because I'm really stuck on this guy who made nachos in a hotel bathroom. Don't do that. Don't even eat any food in a hotel bathroom. Just, man, go downstairs and go get them from the restaurant or call room service. Say, I want some nachos, man. Have them do it for you. For the love, I stop being gross for TikTok. Like, not everything that you can record on your phone is meant for public consumption, and I think this is a prime example. So the lesson here is, number one, don't make or eat food in a bathroom of any kind. And number two, not everything that you do has to be recorded and shared. Right? Right. All right, let's get out of this. We'll take a break. I want to talk about people playing card games on the L. And I don't mean like playing with like you're going with someone, you're on the train with somebody and trying to pass the time and you're playing Go Fish or whatever. I don't mean that. What I mean is if you've never taken public transit anywhere, I assume this happens in other places besides Philadelphia. But if you've never taken it, I'll explain how it goes down. So these guys walk through, and it's usually two guys who walk through with a deck of cards. And there's one guy at deck of cards that says, all right, you pick a card, and they do high-low. So I show you, I have a deck of cards in my hand. I show you, let's say, a 4. And you say, oh, I think it's going to be high. And then you draw a card, and it's a 3. And you give him the money. You give him money and say, all right, you put in $10. And if you win, you get your $10 or double or nothing or whatever, however they do it. And you go, okay, high, low. So the guy draws a 4, and you go, okay, I want to go. I think it's going to be high. And it's a 3, and so you lost your money. And it happens all the time. And people go, oh, keep going. Maybe they win 1 or 2, and they go double or nothing. And listen, if you're much like if you're gambling on professional wrestling, if you are, putting up a lot of money on card games with random strangers on the train, you deserve to lose it, and you likely have a problem. That's what I mean. That's connecting the professional wrestling gambling. If you're gambling on pro wrestling, and if you're spending money playing a card game with a random guy on the L, then you have a problem, and you should call 1-800-GAMBLER and get that sorted out. But anyway, I see this all the time where they go, okay, maybe they win the first one. And they go, okay, double or nothing. Great, let's do that. The guy draws a 6. You go, oh, low. Next card's a 7. And they go, okay, bye. And they just took $50 from you or 60 or whatever it is. They just took money from you. And it is incredibly stupid. And I don't understand why people fall for the ruse, because it's two guys. They take money. They go through. One of them gets off. They take a bunch of money from people, from a bunch of stooges. They basically steal money from these people. And and then they get off at a stop. One of them gets off at one end of the car, and then one of them gets off at another end of the car. And then they go meet up, and they go, okay, how much did you get? Oh, I got, $70. Oh, I got 80. Great. 150 in one trip in one car. At one time, in 5 minutes or whatever. So there you go. You just basically swindled these people, hoodwinked, bamboozled these people out of their money. And it's very funny to me that people are dumb enough to fall for it. It's just like we got a phishing email at work the other day that was very clearly fake. And no, we would never get an email like this. And it's just like, no, this is not real. Don't click on that. Just report it to the thing. And how do I know that people were dumb enough to fall for it? Because not even 5 minutes after I got that email, one came from the district boss. I can't even believe I have to say this. One came out from the district boss that said, hey, this email that we all got is a phishing email. Don't click on the link. Send it to the phishing thing and report it and do that. So I wonder how many people fell for it that they had to send that out in less than 5 minutes. So anyway, this is the level of dumb that I'm talking about. Is these people who will bet their money that they're going to pay. Like Jill told me a story one time. She was on the bus going somewhere, and this woman got caught up in the card game and played the card game and lost, obviously. And then she watched the guys get out. Like the one guy got off at the front door at the next stop, or two stops later. One guy got off at the front door, and the other guy got off at the back door. And they go meet up and they exchange. I guess they give them their cuts of the money. Clearly, they were working together, and you're an idiot because you fell for it. And she's like, Jill said the woman was like, well, I was on my way to pay the electric bill, and that's all the money. Like, that was the money that I had for my electric bill, and I was on my way to pay it, and now I just lost it gambling on a card game on the bus. And you would think, wow, Pat, people are going through some stuff. You should feel some empathy. And I don't. I'm sorry. I know you think I'm a good person, but in this instance, I'm not, because I do not feel sorry for these people, because you get on the bus with a plan and you say, for whatever reason, you have to pay it in cash and you don't want to pay it over the phone or whatever. So you have to get on the bus, maybe more than one bus, and go down to the electric company or to the office and go pay your bill in cash in person. And so you get on the bus that day and go, okay, I'm going to go get on the bus. I got my whatever, $80, whatever the cash is, and I'm going to go pay my electric bill so they don't turn off my lights. Okay, great. That's my plan. So why, as an adult, this is a grown woman. Jill said this woman was in her 50s. You're a grown woman. Why are you then spending the money? We talked about this last week, where the guy who spent $300 on OnlyFans, and then they couldn't pay a utility bill. It's the same idea. You have the money, you have to pay. I'm not saying that you can't gamble on the bus. I'm saying you shouldn't, and you're dumb as hell if you think it's going to work out for you, because those guys have definitely rigged the game and they're working together to get your money from you. And there's no regulation because they're not a casino or they're not whatever. They're just guys on the bus who you handed $80. Why would you do that? Why would you? Okay, I'm not saying that you can't get you can get lucky and then they just beat you up and take your money or whatever, but that's probably not going to happen. But yes, you might be able to win some, and that's great. Hey, I won $10 on the bus. Great, good for you, bud. Congratulations. Somebody else just lost $80 because they're dumb and didn't realize when to stop, or didn't realize, hey, I need all of this cash to go pay my electric bill so they can keep my lights on and I can keep doing things in my house. But I'm going to go ahead and play this card game instead while I'm literally on my way to pay a bill with all of this cash that I have specifically for this purpose. You spent the money on, you had the money in your hand to go pay your bill. And on the way there, you spent it on something else. You gambled it away. You didn't even go to the casino and do it the fun way. You gambled sitting on the bus and lost the money to pay for your electricity in your house because you couldn't say no. Because somebody said, hey, you pick a card and you can win some money, and you gambled $80 or whatever the figure was because you thought you were going to win. What, we're going to double your money from some guy on the bus? You idiot. What are you doing? So that's why I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad for people like that. Yes, I feel bad for people who are, are in dire straits economically because it's not always their fault. However, if you have the money in your hand to go pay a utility, pay a bill, pay whatever, and then you decide on the way there, your whole reason for being on the bus is to go pay your electric bill or your phone bill or your gas bill or your water bill or your whatever bill, right? The whole reason you're on the bus is so you can go pay that bill and have that part of your life handled and not have to worry about it. Now you're on the bus to the electric, to the company, wherever, and you no longer have the money. So how are you going to explain? What are you going to do? Are you going to go in there to the electric company or the water company or wherever and say, hey, I had the money, I had the cash to pay the bill. I was on my way over here. And then, I gambled it away on the bus. You'd probably say someone stole it. But even then, okay, you still need the money. That's not our fault. That's what they'll say, because you still need the money. And the fact is, you had it in your hand. You had it in your hand. You were on your way to go pay the bill. And you decided, because some random guy came up and said, hey, pick a card. Let's make some money. You can win some money. Pick a card. And you didn't think there was anything out of place about that. You didn't think there was anything wrong with that. No alarm bells went off. No red flags went up that said, hey, maybe I shouldn't give this random guy on the bus my money, my $80 that I need right now to go turn my lights back on at my house. Maybe I shouldn't give that away. That thought did not cross your mind. So you just said, okay, here's $80 and you lost, because that's how it works. They take your money. That's what they're doing. They're taking your money. No, you know what? Not even. You're giving them your money. They're not taking your money. You are willingly giving them your money. No one is saying, hey, give me your money. They're saying, do you want to win some money? Let's play a game. And you say, yes, okay. And you hand them your money. Again, you don't even get the fun of the casino. I don't think casinos are fun, but a lot of people do. But how do you... If you're betting on horses or dog races or whatever is racing, or if you're betting on a sport or something, at least that's something you can get out. Like, you're at least watching, like, oh, I bet on the Phillies, or I bet on, Formula One, or I bet on whatever, and I lost. Oh man, what a bummer. But like that's at least understandable. Like, that's a real thing. You just got swindled out of your electric bill because you're too stupid to realize, hey, maybe these guys are working together to scam us. Maybe that's how this works. Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Because you're too stupid to figure it out. Why? In what world? Like, what is the best case scenario? If let's say you play this game and you win. Say you win $200. Okay? Say you're playing this card game with these guys on the bus, and somehow you get lucky enough, or they make a mistake, and you win $200 in cash, and they give you $200 in cash. Okay, well, guess what? Guess who now knows that you, a 50-something, 60, whatever-year-old woman, traveling by yourself, has $200 in cash on her person right now. Everybody else on that bus now knows that you have money in your pocket, more money than they likely have on their person at that time. So not only are you dumb because you're likely going to lose your money, but even if you win that money, you now put yourself at risk. And I know this sounds paranoid, but you haven't ridden the buses in these neighborhoods like I have. And it's just like, people they're going to know, hey, that person has money. Guess what I'm going to go do? I'm going to go get some $200. I don't feel bad. I do not feel bad for people who lose money to these random guys on the bus. I don't, and I never will, because no one is taking money from you. You are freely giving money to these people because you felt pressured, because you're like, no, not even. You feel like, I can double my money. Like I said at the top, if you think this is a good idea, if you think, I'm going to gamble my money away on the bus, you need help from a professional. You need to call a number from wherever you are and say, you know what, I need to enroll. I need to get into this program and get out of this hole that I'm in, because I think that gambling on the bus is a good idea. And I think I'm going to win my money by gambling with some random guy on the bus, giving him $80, and somehow I think I'm going to turn that into $160 or $200 or whatever. $240, I guess, would be triple, right? I just don't understand why this happens. Well, I know why it happens, because people are stupid, and other people have learned that they can exploit that and take their money. Is it right? Is it morally right to do that? No. Are they doing anything illegal? Probably, but who's going to catch them? You don't know their names. I don't know what they look like. I wouldn't recognize them if I saw them. But hey, it's cash only under the table. They don't have to, not reporting anything. They're just like, hey, you want to play a game? And people willingly give their money for their electric bills and their water bills and their phone bills while they're on the way to pay them. And they think that that's a good idea. And I just don't understand. I don't know. Like, I see these stories and people are like, oh man, isn't that a shame? No, it's not a shame, because you're an idiot and you shouldn't have bet your electric bill on a card game on the bus because you're stupid. So if you ever take public transit, or if you're ever, I guess, let me just say this. If you're ever not at a casino and someone says, hey, do you want to play a card game? And they want you to give them money. Don't give them money. Okay? All right. That was fun. Making fun of idiots. Just, I don't feel bad, because you gave them your money and now you lost it because you're stupid. So there we go. Let's take a break. I need a drink, and we will talk about hate watching TV shows and movies and why you should not do it right after this. This one is, let's see, saving malls. Pat, you talked about converting malls into housing, which I think is a good idea. But do you think there's a way to save any of them and keep them as retail spaces? Well, that's a good question, and thank you for asking it. Who am I? Am I Mayor West? That's a great question, and I applaud you for asking. Go sit on your lap and pat your head. I like him. Anyway, more Family Guy references. That's my life. Okay, so what's funny, though, is that my wife and I, my smoking hot wife, Jill is my smoking hot wife, for anybody who doesn't know. If you're new, welcome. I hope this isn't your first episode. Oh, boy. No, this one's been fun, right? It's been a good one. Anyway, Jesus. We were just talking about this the other day because two of our local malls, one of them is Chamonix, got sold, and they're going to convert it, I think, to other things or whatever. And then Franklin Mills is... well, their loans came due and they can't pay them. And so I'm not sure what's going to happen there. But yeah, we were talking about how, because we've been to those malls lately, and I've talked about it on the show, where there's not much in them, right? Just empty stores and nobody really shopping around, and it's disappointing. So we were talking about it like, hey, just having shops and stores at the mall is not enough. Like, we've all proven not, well, I guess I'm included in that. We've proven that it's not going to work like that anymore because things get delivered. And yes, I like to try things on. Yeah, but you're a minority. You're in the minority at this point because more people will shop online and fewer people are going to the stores, going to the malls for whatever reasons they are. They're not going to go. That's their thing. It's whatever they want to do or not do. So we were talking about this like, hey, I think more experience places instead of more stores is going to be the move, right? Some malls already have this. They got laser tag. They got escape rooms. I don't like escape rooms at all. The concept of it is just so odd to me, but people love them. So yeah, laser tag, escape rooms. Some places have a mini golf in the mall. They took over a couple of storefronts and turned it into mini golf, which is great. I love mini golf. Bowling you could turn them into basically, I guess in a way like family fun centers because so you can have the shops, the stores, and take the other empty spaces. Maybe you might have to shuffle some stores around, which would suck, I guess, on the retail worker level. Moving your stuff from one store to another sucks. Even doing inventory of what's in just your store sucks. It's awful. It's not fun. Nobody likes it. But I think to make a plan like this work, you're going to have to like split the mall in half. Maybe not physically, because it can still be all like part of the mall, right? You just have to separate it in a certain way. Like let me map this out from the view of the mall where I worked for 3 years. So it has on one side the old anchor store, which is now going to be apartments. And then in the middle, there's another anchor store. It used to be a Sears. So that's closed, gone. And then the other end is a Macy's, and then in between like stores and the food court and all that. So I think let's use that scenario where one side of the mall is, let's go from Sears to the left. And those are your stores. Those are, you know what? No, put it on the other side. That's the fun center. So from Sears to the right to Macy's. So again, let's just recap. You got the apartments, in the middle is Sears, and at the other end is Macy's. So from Macy's to Sears, that's your shopping district. So that's where you have all the stores that are in there, the clothing stores, the hobby shops, the whatever stores you have in there, whatever stores want to go in there, they go on that side of the mall. And then the middle, there's like I don't want to call it a courtyard, but it's like an area where you can sit down and you can just, there are chairs, you can relax and charge your phone and do all that stuff, like in between the things, right? In between the shops and what will now be the family fun center, right? Where you have your mini golf, your bowling, your escape room, your laser tag, your sit and sip, the people do the painting, right? Your slime making places for the kids, or your whatever it is that they do, right? So you have places like that on one side. And I know not every mall is built this way, but just go with me here structurally and I don't know, logistically. Go with me here on that. So it's still the same mall, still owned by the same company. It's still in the same spot. And it's still like all these things are accessible by entering the same building. And so you go to your family fun center, you do all your stuff. By the way, the food court is in the middle. of this. And so like the first level is what used to be Sears in the middle, and you have a place to sit down, charge your phone. And then the upstairs of that is the food court. All right. And so then the other side is every shop, every store that's there, you have them over there. So then, yeah, you separate it into, sections. And maybe you could put a barrier there, put up a wall like, hey, welcome. This is the family fun place, or these are the shops at Oxford Valley, or whatever you want to do there. I'm sure you could do that to let people know walking around like you are now entering like a separate part of the mall, right? And so, yeah, have experience places on one side, and the shops that are still there, have them on the other side. And so you have that. But the other thing that you need, so you have, again, laser tag, escape room, mini golf, bowling, sand, or slime making, sit and sip, stuff like that, where people can go and hang out with their friends and do things and not just buy stuff, right? So you do that. And so I think that's a good way to do it. And I would say make one of the spaces. So in this scenario, that Sears is still empty. That Sears, that anchor store is still empty. So you turn that into a performance space. Concert venue, concert venue / like theater space. So you can have a concert, you can do a play there, you can do a podcast taping there, if that's what you want to do. You can, have bands play and do that, like something to get people there and like have it in its own indoor space for performers. Because that's a thing, like when I was looking around for places to tape the podcast, tape the episode of the show, it was really hard to find a place that had parking and was easy for a lot of people to get to. And so you put it at a mall, you already have the parking. That's built in. It's already there. And so you have an indoor space to have performances of any kind in a central, well, maybe central is the wrong word, but in a location where a lot of people already know how to get to. You can get there by public transit. You can park there, safely. And everyone knows, like, they know where it is. You don't have to travel, to a weird place you've never been to. And, you don't have to worry about finding it. It's right there. Oh, it's right where the Sears used to be at the mall. And so you know where that is. And you go there and go, boop, here we go, let's go. Or if you park in the wrong side, guess what? You just walk through and you go find where it used to be. Go find on the, like, hey, here's the concert space. And you go watch the show and then go to the food court or whatever. Although I guess they would serve food. But the other thing that we brought up was that you have to have a legit food court, right? Because we've gone to the local malls in the last year and a half, and the food courts are empty. Like we went to Neshaminy Mall end of the year and end of last year. And the food court had 3 restaurants in it. 3. It used to have a dozen, maybe. 3. We went to Oxford Valley. It had like a Dunkin' Donuts and then like 4 other places. And that was it. Frank the Mills had Sbarro, or whatever it was called, one other sandwich place, and then like 2 other things. And that was it. So you have to have, like, if you're going to get people to spend their time there and their money, right? If you're having them come do laser tag or bowling or mini golf, or you want them to shop, or they're going to a concert or whatever, you got to feed them. And you got to feed them actual meals, right? Like the specialty desserts or snack places, like they're fine. Annie Ann's, right? Put that on there. Everybody loves a pretzel. But also, you're going to need lunch and dinner and breakfast whenever you open, right? You're going to need real meals. If you want people to stay and stick around and spend their money, you don't want to have them go off-site to get real food. So you got to bring in the real food places and keep them there, And if that means for the owners of the mall there, lowering the rent for the restaurants to come in and actually be able to afford it and be able to justify doing their business there, then maybe that's what you have to do. And then everybody gets a cut of everything else, right? All the things and all the mall. I'm thinking the mall as a whole here, not every store, right? But like, you kind of got to make it, I don't know, man. Corporate greed is always a roadblock for these things. And so you got to contend with that too. But yeah, the way to do it, a couple things. You make it a place to go where people can have experiences and do things instead of just shopping. Because just shopping, it's already been proven, that's not going to be the move anymore. It doesn't work like that anymore. People shop online. I shop online a ton, right? People shop online. It's just not going to work that way. And so you got to have things there for people to do And you got to revitalize your food court with real, actual places to eat food, right? Not these special, get these rolled ice cream. Like, that's fun, but I also need to have dinner or I need to have lunch. I need real food. And then I can go, when I'm done with my mini golf, I can go shop and then stick around for a while and buy more real food before I leave. So it would take a lot of work. It would take a lot of work to make this happen. But if you want to save the malls, which some people do, you're going to have to get creative with the use of the space. Like, yes, make them into housing. That is a benefit for a lot of people. But if you want to keep it as a mall, then you got to change up what's in there. Make it like a family fun center on one side and the shops on the other side. And in the middle, put a concert venue in an old anchor store and make that work for you. Make that happen. And then, so that way, it's a one-stop. Oh, hey, we're going to go to a concert. Oh, at the mall. Oh, cool. Then we can go get some food. Oh, let's go to the bookstore, or let's go to whatever store you want to go to. So you can cover all of that, and the mall as a whole makes money because people buy things, and the stores can stay in business and can stay there and keep the building open and keep things moving. Because right now they're in the wrong spot. They're going in the wrong direction. And so if you want to save the malls, you're going to have to get a little bit more creative and maybe take a bit of a cut off the top there to make it really sink in and work. But yeah, convert them into mixed use spaces. Family fun centers would be a great thing, I think. And the concert venue is something Jill and I have talked about for a while. It's like, yeah, an indoor place where kids can go. And we're thinking specifically of kids from our town. Because like we didn't have a ton of that. Well, from where we lived when we met. Jill's not from there. I am. But there weren't a ton of places to go for things like that. And so if you have, hey, let's go to the mall. Well, what's there? We're going to go see a show. And then we're going to play laser tag. And then we're going to go do this, right? And so there weren't really a lot of options at the time. And so if you make one, then you keep the building open, give the kids something to do, and everybody wins, I think. So there you go. How do you save malls? Get creative. Put experience sites in there instead of stores, instead of just stores. But put a concert venue in there and revitalize your food court, because if people can't eat real food, they're not going to want to stick around and buy stuff. There you go. That's how we do that. I just saved all the malls. You're welcome, Simon Properties. Let me know. I'll charge you. I'll send you a bill for my consulting fee. Good luck out there, everybody. And if it doesn't happen, then, well, I don't know. Then we're all going to skateboard in it like in Tony Hawk. That's the other option. So there we go. We'll take a break. We'll do one more thing, I think, and then we'll go. So if you don't like sports, the next part's not for you. But everybody else, I'll talk to you in a bit. All right, so we are going to play a song from the record. We'll do... Okay. Did I write it down? I did. Fish Town and Down. We'll do that one. Okay. By the way, friends, it's not safe for work because somebody has a potty mouth over there. Sometimes people listen with their kids, which seems insane that people's kids listen to the show. So just a heads up, everybody. There's some bad words not coming from me. So tell me all about how Fish Town and Down came together with the AI prompt and the sitting in the studio and tossing things back and forth. How did this song come to be a thing?
This one was one that I brought to the table.
Look at you. Let's see it now. Yeah. It just fits. You're on the show. We're playing your song. This is great.
Yeah, appreciate it. I'm glad it's one that I can talk about.
Imagine like, oh, I actually didn't do this one at all. I don't know. I can't help you with that.
When you said one person, I was like, oh no, what if he brings up like one of the ones I was kind of hands off with? Yeah, so Fish Down and Down was definitely one that came from the table, and I've always loved like the dancier kind of like poppier side of the genre. And I really wanted a chorus that drives that home. And I think we definitely got that in Fish Down Down. But it was just kind of a culmination of like, so when I write lyrics, I wrote everything except like the bridge for this one, I believe, lyrically. And the first thing I kind of always think of is like, what's something I could see like a crowd yelling back to you while the song starts or while the chorus is going. And this one was definitely like, I can see people yelling back, like the beginning of this song, you know, she asked me, honey, could you meet me down on Front Street? Like I could see that happening as the guitar starts and everything starts to come in. And then you get like this rush of like, you know, the dancey energy, the poppy like chorus. But yeah, so this one started with me kind of looking at like a lot of the songs that have like that 4 on the floor chorus, that very drivey, like, you know, dancey beat.
Yeah.
And kind of what they did well. And then I demoed it out and I took it to Jeff. And I just remember he was just like, yeah, I think this is the worst one, man. I don't like this one that much. And so
Jeff, no.
He's always from I love it. He's no holds barred. He's from the top rope. But I was like, all right, like, you know, I get that. That's fine. If we could still do it though. And we workshopped it. He definitely put his twist on it to like enhance things. Like he had good ideas for some guitar parts that would kind of make it more interesting. And after the back and forth, and after like we finally got Matt's scratch vocals on it, I remember getting the text. He was like, all right, I see the vision. I get this. This is
all right. It actually sucked.
This is okay. Yeah. Yeah. So then it's one of those things. Fish Down Down is definitely one that started out, not the house favorite. I loved it as soon as I heard like the music kind of put together, and he was still like, I don't know, man.
Maybe you should stick to guitars, man. Just saying.
But then once it was all kind of put together, we were like, this is pretty fun. We got something here, I think. So then that was one of the first ones we got done, and one of the first things we were like, let's do a video for this one. So that one kind of came together piece by piece, a little bit of back and forth between like us and Jeff, and like Ty and Matt got in on writing some vocals in the bridge, and then it just felt like a really good complete product. So yeah, we were pretty happy with that one.
And you did that first because Jeff said, "Get this crap out of the way. Let's get this amateur hour stuff out of the way."
I think that was the first one that we kind of had in full. It wasn't the first one that we like started, I should say, I guess.
Okay. And then they decided that you could still be in the band and still write lyrics because it actually wasn't as bad.
Well, I'm on a temporary thing, like, you know, like when you get hired, you get like 90 days probation.
Yeah, you're on probation. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been on probation for about 8 years now. Yeah. So we'll see if I can keep re-upping this contract.
Yeah, they're still not sure, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I hope this sways them in any direction. That'd be great.
Yeah, you just want an answer. It doesn't matter.
I can't guarantee which way it'll go for you, but
right.
I think you did well here. I think you did.
I appreciate that.
Also, don't park on Front Street because then your windows will get smashed. So don't park there.
Sure.
That's not a good place to park your car.
Oh yeah.
I'm up in the Northeast, so it's so I'm not down there, but I see the things. I know what people are worried about.
I grew up in the far Northeast.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'd move out of here tomorrow if I could. But anyway, I'd move out of the city in general tomorrow if I could. But neither here nor there.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. I do have another question for you. It's a bonus. We'll do it at the end.
Okay.
But we're going to play a song. Kurt, thanks for being here, man. This was tremendous.
Absolutely.
I'm glad we worked it out. All right. So midfield.pizza is where you find more from them. Fantastic domain, by the way. That's chef's kiss. Just absolutely. You nailed it. Whoever made that choice, you nailed it.
It's a team effort.
Way to go. So the self-titled album is out now. I almost said, you know what? No, I'll do it. The self-titled album Midfield is out now. There we go. That's funny. It's out now. Go get it. Go stream it. Go buy it. Go do the thing. And here is Fishtown and Down. We'll be right back. So Redemption of Ricky Gray. Ricky is walking through the halls at a school and everybody's like whispering, oh, is that the Stray Kids brother? You think it's contagious? It felt like a horror movie. Like the foreboding music, like the zooming in on the people's faces. He's like looking around like, I don't know, guys. And I loved it. Like that was such a great scene. I'm like, this guy's legitimately scared that something's going to happen because his brother's straight in the gay world. And I'm like, what? Who? Okay. Did you make the scene with that in mind, or did that just happen?
I wanted to be very dark and depressing. I wanted, in a way, and I'm sorry if this comes off offensive, I wanted straight people to feel what I felt when I came out in school and I was being teased and people were making comments and staring at me.
Wait, you're gay? Could you imagine someone didn't know? Or like, say someone caught your movie in the middle and go, this guy likes making gay characters. I wonder what that's about.
I do an open review every time I release a movie saying, oh, please review my movie. Like if you have an opinion, I would love to hear it. But I mean, it's gotta be like legit. Don't just say it sucked. If it sucked, tell me why.
Right.
And I think one of the questionnaires is like, what would you like to see next? And someone actually put something without gay characters. I'm like, well, that's kind of what my company does. Because when I started the company in 2017, at the time we didn't have a lot of gay characters, a lot of gay movies. Now, yes, I do feel like we are better, but I still want to kind of continue and maybe doing some different genres that we don't normally see, which is why Final Boy horror movie, we don't really have a lot of gay horror, so I wanted to try that now. But yeah, those are some of the comments I sometimes get.
Gay horror sounds like a great genre for movies, by the way. Gay horror just sounds like, all right. And you're like, you kind of, with a couple of these, you kind of made your way into that space already, right? With an American Hate Crime can kind of be classified that sort of.
All American Boy had some good horror elements.
I was going to get that. Yeah, that was a lot of like, whoa, this is, I watched it while working. So I'm like, man, you can't have me feeling things while I'm doing work. It's not, again, straight people can't have feelings, Ian. You have to understand this. Come on.
Sorry, in a dark theater, no one can see it. It's all right.
I guess that's true. And I guess nobody's here in the room with me. So it's fine. The feelings are not in the room. Yeah, it's great. Before we start, Tim, I brought a memento with us.
Oh, yeah?
This is a very real letter.
I'm so excited
that my high school sent to my mother in 2008. And Tim, would you like to read that to the people? Can you read that to the people, please?
During November, the month of the Holy Souls, we remember our loved ones who have gone to God. Father Judge High School warmly invites you to attend a memorial mass for Patrick K. Johnston and all of our deceased alumni and friends who have passed away this year. Mass will be held Thursday, November 6, 2008 in Father Judge School Auditorium beginning at 7:30. The presider will be Reverend Edward Roscoe, former faculty member of Judge. After the Mass, we will process to the Father Judge Vietnam Memorial as we honor our 27 with a special salute. Light refreshments will follow.
That is very real. This is a very real letter sent to my mother in 2008. And I remember distinctly, she called me in a fucking panic. Absolute panic. She said, "Oh my God, are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah." We're walking across campus, like, "Yeah, what's up?" She's like, "Just in this letter." And then she scanned it, emailed it to me, and I said, "Tim, we got to talk." We were doing radio at the time, and I said, "Tim, we have to talk about this. There's no way we cannot address that I'm dead."
It was pretty incredible to do a radio show with a dead man. It was the first time I had done that.
Yeah.
It was definitely a unique experience. I gotta say, I do miss you every day, buddy.
I miss me too.
Yeah.
I'm less nervous now because I'm not even here.
Right. There's no accountability. Really, this could be the worst show of all time.
Sometimes it's like I can still hear him.
Yeah, right. He lives so closely to my soul that I can just hear him right here in the room. It's pretty neat.
I'm really glad that I made such an impression on both of you.
Yeah.
That even I died before I even knew you, and I still.
It's crazy.
I still have.
And yet you've affected me.
It's that level. And it's that kind of thing that gets you to 500 episodes. It's that kind of stick-to-itiveness. You went beyond
that's
that.
work ethic.
Yeah.
That's work ethic.
It's
right
a lot.
there.
That's a lot, right? Is that too many? Are we done after this? Is this the last one? Ben, are we done after this?
Can we get like a claps or booze?
Yeah, Ben is pulling the plug after this. So this will be the last episode of the show.
Well, it's about time that you actually get some, heavenly rest.
Yeah, I think I need some sleep. Yeah, I need a little bit of sleep. So... Okay, there you have it. That, as we say, is that. We did it. You know what? This was actually really fun. I know I joked it was a cop-out as you got an extra, 6 or 7 minutes of me, because that's about all I could stand before I had to cough a lot more. So I really had fun. So let me know if you want me to do a best of the year every year, because I actually had a lot of fun putting this together. And maybe this year I should resolve to pull out the clips ahead of, week to week, pull out the clips, put them on YouTube so I can just have it ready. Maybe I'll do that. We'll see. Let me know. If that's the thing you want me to do, I will put that in motion for this year. If you want me to do a best of, the first show of the year is a best of the previous year, or the last show of the year is the last show. I think we may keep doing the holiday movie reviews. I think that, let me know if you liked that as well. I know we didn't finish them yet, but if you want me to do that for December, holiday movie reviews, and just wipe out everything else. So that's 5 weeks, or 6 potentially, depending on how many Saturdays there are, of not a real show. So let me know if that's something you're interested in, the holiday movie reviews, if you want me to do that again next year, because it was a lot of work, it took a lot of time, but it was so much fun. And if you want me to do a best of the previous year to start the next year, so the best of 2025 as the first episode of 2026, Let me know if that's an annual thing you would like me to keep doing, like my holiday show, like the Halloween show, like the show on Thanksgiving Day. Let me know. We could make that. We could make these things annual traditions, annual, things we do. Traditions may be the wrong word, but I'm not well, so go with me. But that's all. That's it. Again, this was really fun. I know it feels odd. You don't get a real episode for another week. I'm sorry, but hopefully next week I'll be okay. I'll let you know. Keep you posted. If we're still not well after that, then we might have to just go to the hospital and do a show from there. But in any case, thank you for listening in 2024 and today, and for hanging out. Oh, I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot. Thank you to Todd, to Courtly, and to Phil for filling in last week. I knew I was going to use all their things in some way. It was just a matter of who was going to be first. So I hope no one's offended that I used Todd first. But thank you very much for that. And they really stepped up like the day of, or like Phil the day before, and like Todd and Courtly sent it the day of. And I am so grateful that they did that. And yeah, it was really fun to put that together. Hope you enjoyed all the music. I know you don't get mouth riffs. I'm sorry, but I didn't feel good enough doing that. Sorry, I was compromised. Well, I woke up on Christmas with no voice, so that's why we did that way. And as you can hear, I'm not fully back. So we did this. It was fun. Hopefully next week I'll be much better and we're doing okay. But thank you for sticking with me all year. I'm going to try to keep it rolling for next year. I feel like I've really hit a stride here with the show, and I've just been way more often than not, certainly more often than I used to be, really happy with how these episodes have come together. And so I'm going to try to keep it rolling for this year to just stay in this groove. And yeah, I don't have a ton of listeners. I don't make money from this, not a ton anyway. And I don't get a ton of engagement when I share things, but I just feel like I found my little pocket, made a really nice community here with the show finally after 500 whatever episodes. And I felt really good about this for a while. So thank you all for being here. Sorry to get sappy, but again, you know what? Let's even this out. Again, if you're still supporting Republicans, go fuck yourself. There you go. How's that? So we're not ending on a sappier note, because I know people don't usually like those. But yeah, if you've stuck with me, or if you're new and you're still sticking around, thank you very much. I'm going to try to feel better and sound better, and we'll get back to it as soon as we can. Otherwise, I may lean on you again, so don't let me down. Okay? I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. No G-Love, we've been here long enough, so here's my little thing, and please enjoy that. And then, yeah, hopefully you'll be back next week with more actual me, live and in color through the magic of the radio, and we'll do that, okay? TheMeltingPot.com for all of my stuff. This has been an 8-Boiler production. Go have fun, be safe, don't be stupid, tip your wait staff, and don't do anything I wouldn't do. I love you very much. I'll talk to you soon. Sorry, patrons, you don't get an extra bonus, but everybody gets the same thing. But thanks for your money. Thanks for the time. Tell your mom, tell your friends' moms, tell your mom's friends that I said hi and to give me money. Okay? I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Go crap open a cold one.